All right. Thanks everybody for joining us today. This is Kevin Oldham. I am a co-founder of Smart Agent Life, powered by eXp Realty. And today we're going to invest about an hour sharing a cool model with you. So without further ado, let's take a look at who I am and why I'm qualified to visit with you about what I think is a pretty cool opportunity in the real estate space. So I started in real estate when I was 17 years old at a call center of what is now a national company called Showing.com, and got plucked out of the call center by one of my mentors still, who was a top producer here in Kansas City. And I was with him for 2 years. We did about 40 million bucks in transactions, and really got a taste for the real estate business. As I went through my career, I in the early 2000s launched a real estate specific or development specific marketing company here in Kansas City, helping loft developers pre-sell their inventory. And then joined the management team at United Real Estate Group, where we did some really cool stuff. I got to co-found and was the chief marketing officer of a national franchise. Just really had an awesome time there. And left about 2 years ago to launch my digital marketing company, DeFactory, and have stayed in very close contact with a good friend of mine who was chief operating officer at our previous company. And one day he sent me a text, and his name's Ted Latz, and he sent me a text and he said, "Check this out." And it was a webinar. It's format like this. And so I watched it, and it was about eXp Realty. And I got done, actually went home that night, and I was like, man, I think Ted wants to build another real estate company. And my wife looked at me like I'm crazy, because I'm always building stuff, right? And so I talked to Ted, and I said, "So what do you got in mind?" And he said, "Well, let's join." And I'm like, "Huh?" He said, "Well, think about it." He said, we can go out and we can have all the benefits of basically the resources of a national company, and go out and do some pretty cool things. And I said, "Okay, what's that look like?" He's like, "Well, we got to get licensed again." Both of us had been licensed before, and he owned a Remax franchise in Chicago, got licensed again, and now back in working with buyers and sellers, and more importantly, and what I'm most excited about is sharing this model with progressive agents who want to think differently. So what we're going to do, what I'm going to ask is if you can take the opportunity to put your phone on do not disturb, grab a pen and paper, because I think there's going to be some things here that, whether or not, if you're with an independent office or a franchise or wherever you are in your career, there's going to be some nuggets here that you can take away that you could probably implement into your business. This isn't a sales pitch. This is designed to share information with you. We think it's a cool model. We're investing our time, money, and resources into building a team here, and our goal here is to just share the model with you. So without further ado, let's get oriented real quick. We're going to revisit this slide at the end, but throughout today's conversation, we're going to talk about really 4 big buckets. We're going to make sure that you have an understanding of the technology that's going to make it so that you can operate your business from anywhere. Specifically as it relates to what a cloud office is, I'm going to show you, because that's kind of like this obscure concept if you're used to working in a traditional office. We're going to talk about the economics of the business, the equity and stock, the ability to have ownership in the company, as well as what the revenue share model looks like. So let's dive in and take a look at what eXp Realty is all about. So eXp, the trade, the tagline is the agent-owned cloud brokerage. This is an agent-owned company. When you join the company, you have the ability to purchase stock. You get the ability to earn stock awards through various benchmarks, and it is a publicly traded organization. It is cloud-based. So cloud-based means there are no brick-and-mortar stores. And I'm going to make an argument, or brick-and-mortar offices. I'm going to make an argument as to why that is a better business decision, because offices equal overhead, and somebody is paying for that overhead. And generally, it's the real estate agent in one way or another. And so redeploying that capital in a way that makes sense, that helps the agents and that allows you to go out and serve more buyers and sellers, I think is a better deployment of capital. So eXp Realty 2009 launched as a cloud-based brokerage. Some recognition as the company has continued to grow. This is a exponentially growing company. So the company is adding about 100 agents per week. It has really picked up recently, and I think we're at that inflection point. Actually, I'll show you. We're definitely at that inflection point for explosive growth. When I was at my previous company, this very same issue of Stefan Swamppool's Real Trends report came out, and we were on one page, and eXp was on the other page, and the segment was the brokerage model of the future. And basically, Stefan said that one of us was going to get it right. And I love my old company. They're doing some really cool things in the franchise space, but I really love eXp as well. And the reason why is because I genuinely believe that this is the model of the future. I'm going to share some things with you around other companies that have gone out and embraced a new way of doing business, and you're going to look at them and you're going to look at the valuations on them, and you're going to say, wonder what it would have been like to be, one of the first employees at one of these companies. Wonder what it would have been like to have the ability to buy stock in one of these companies at its early stages. So this is going to be a paradigm shift that I'm going to share with you. I want you to think differently. I want you to look at some of these companies and think about what they have done as it relates to embracing technology, basically changing models. So Amazon.com, Jeff Bezos, I love getting my dog food dropped off along with my paper towels and coffee on the first of every month for about 25% cheaper than I could do it at a brick and mortar. Totally changed retail and basically everything, right? Uber, enough said. Cool company, despite their management issues. They've just made it so that taxis are irrelevant. We passed one today in Kansas City. We don't have many. And it was called like Z-Trip or whatever. And I was on the highway with my wife, and I said, you know what? That's just lipstick on a pig. It's still a freaking pig, man. It is a taxi cab that's trying to adapt, and guess what? You're not going to catch them. Airbnb, bigger than, I think it's bigger than Hyatt. I mean, they've totally disrupted the hospitality industry. Netflix, can you say bye-bye Blockbuster? And Google, I mean, what haven't they touched, right? And so these are cloud disruptors, and it really has been a long time since, there's been some cool stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, in technology, there's a lot of cool things in real estate. Actually, there's probably too much cool stuff going on in technology. That being said, from a brokerage perspective, there's a lot of people trying to make moves. eXp is a relatively young organization still, and I think that's not going to happen. eXp, more people are going to start hearing about it as the business grows, and I think this is a really cool opportunity to at least share the model with you so that you know about it, and then you'll remember that guy Kevin who was talking about this little weird cloud company and showing you cartoon graphics of what a cloud campus looked like, and maybe one day you'll look back and say, hey, that was a great decision. I'm so glad that I was on Kevin's webinar. Or maybe one day you'll look back and say, wow, I wish I would have made a change. Ultimately, it's going to be up to you. This model is not for everybody, but for somebody who came out of the womb with a computer attached to me, it's pretty cool. So we're going to talk about some systems real quick here. Cloud brokerage, why and what? It's cool. I'll show you a picture of it. But what I like about it is, as you're a new agent getting onboarded anywhere, I mean, anytime you go somewhere new, you start a new job, whatever, start a new school, it's always just different, right? Change can be stressful for all of us. So it allows you to go and do the things that you need to do. You can walk up to agent services, ask them questions, walk in, get help with your transactions. More important, you can collaborate with other people in the community. Collaboration globally with other professionals is pretty amazing. More what I'm excited about is it does reallocate capital so that they're not going to overhead of brick and mortar. All right, so here's what eXp world looks like. It looks like a game, and I know this. If you've never seen anything like this, you're like, well, this is my real estate office. Okay, did you ever think that your brick and mortar store would be on your phone? If you use Amazon to buy anything, think about whatever it is that you buy on Amazon now that you used to go to a store to buy that, right? And real estate it's a relationship based business. So when they adopted this, avatar format where you can go into conference rooms, all this, it does make it feel like you're literally there with people, and they're people that are just throughout the world. And I think it's pretty cool because you're not just limited to bumping into people in your local office. You can collaborate with people all over the world, and it's a pretty cool environment. I've really enjoyed it. So this is what eXp World looks like. You can go download it at smartagentlife.com. You don't have to be an agent to do it. You can just go download it, walk around, have fun. There's even some special keys you can hit where you can do some cool dance moves with your avatar. All right, so let's talk about support. Support at every level. I love this because, no matter where you are in your real estate career, if you're new, great. We're going to help you get oriented and understand, how things work. If you're like me, a seasoned real estate executive, great. We've got solutions for you. You're a team leader, a broker. There, you can insert yourself into the business. Your administrative staff, anybody can insert themselves into the business and just plug in and get the stuff that you need done and get out and get working with more buyers and sellers. And that is what I love about eXp, because we all need support at some point in time. Nobody has it figured out, right? And the ability to go in and have a conversation and just wrap it up and get the answers you need, get back to something that's productive, not driving to the office, is a pretty cool value proposition for forward-thinking agents. So transactions anytime, anywhere. Obviously, all of your transactions are going to take place. We use a platform called SkySlope. It's going to be able to take care of all of your transactions. You also get a cool dashboard if you attract agents to a model, where you'll be able to look at like the revenue share and see their production and all of those things. It's super cool. Obviously, you can look at the company financials on board and agent onboarding, all of the things that you need to be able to go out and get things done. And we've got a transaction support team available during business hours. So if you get stuck along the way, just walk in and ask them for help. That's what they're here to do, is to help you. You've got obviously marketing and technology support, right? So we've got an in-house group here that is designed to help you, if you get stuck, whether it's with your WordPress website or your conversion website for IDX and CRM, any of those things. The support here, I've been blown away. I mean, it's super cool. You don't have to wait for somebody to respond to an email or pick up the phone. You just walk over and say, "Hey, I need help." And you literally speak, and they will talk back to you. It's a cool environment. It takes a little while to get used to. Particularly if you're a veteran agent, you're used to going into the office every day. But look at what technology is doing. And the question is, are you going to adapt now, or are you going to be forced to adapt later? And I always think it's better to just be at the leading edge of things versus being forced into a situation maybe when the time's not right for you. So professional business development, they've got a couple different professional development tracks. So there's obviously business stuff like building your business. That's going to be, they've got like an SEO course. They've got masterminds to become $1 million producer, technology, getting your arms around how things work, and also building your real estate business. So cool training that's going on all of the time. It is literally 30 hours of live training per week. You can check it out on our website, smartagentlife.com. We've got this week's training schedule up there. If you want to geek out around how to get SEO, search engine optimization, and social media dialed in, there's a class for that. If you want to figure out how to attract more agents, awesome. You want to figure out how to go sell more real estate in the lead gen game, or acquiring more listings, there's a class for that. And you can just go on there, and then there's always an archive as well. So if you can't make the live training sessions, no worries. You can go check it out at 3 a.m. if you so desire. Profitability. So this is Robert Kiyosaki. He's got this thing called the Cashflow Quadrant. A lot of people are on this side. They're the employees. This is the way that a lot of folks go, or self-employed. You own a job. You might. I always think about like a contractor who fired his boss to go work for himself, and it's just miserable, right? I know a lot of guys like that who work way too hard. The job owns them. A lot of business owners, you start moving up to that top right quadrant. This is when you've got a system that works for you. A huge book that I'm a big fan of, E-Myth Revisited. Read it, please. My mentor in the real estate space gave it to me about 20 years ago, and I reread it every year between Christmas and New Year's. It's about building systems that work for you. And then ultimately, once you've got capital, it's the money starts working for you, right? And 80% of the money is over here, but 80% of the people are over here, and that's a messed up scenario. Our goal is, right away, you're going to be in the business owner space, but through eXp, you're also going to be an investor, an owner. You're going to have a system that works for you. We're going to make it so that your system has leverage built into it so that you can earn more, so you can have more time, money, whatever's more important to you, a combination of both. So here's a career arc that most folks in the real estate space would potentially go through, and we're going to dive into each one of them. So individual productivity. This is if you're your own agent, you don't have a team or whatever, you're on that commission roller coaster, and that sucks. I've been there. When you go out of town, your business stops. When you retire, there's a huge travesty that I would like everybody to avoid, which is that you stop making money. You don't have anything that's worth anything to anybody. Nobody wants to buy it. It's not throwing off cash. It's worthless. Unfortunately, that's the way a lot of real estate agents go through their career, and it frankly it saddens me because to put yourself out there and deal with people's biggest emotional decisions, for 40 years or whatever, and then you're like, hey, I'm 70 and I'm gonna stop working, and you don't have anything to show for it. That just sucks, and it makes me sad, even thinking about it. And so this is part of my why. I mean, this is part of why I do what I do, because I want prosperity for all people who work hard. And I believe that if you work hard, that that you should be compensated for it. If you build a business, you should be compensated for it. If you build something of value, it should be worth something to somebody else, or it should be worth something, in terms of throwing off cash or whatever. So that's why I'm at eXp. I've seen too many real estate agents retire broke, and it makes me sad. Team building. So how's that work? Classic team building philosophy, right? You're a team leader. You've got buyer's agent, seller's agent, admin. Maybe you've got 30 agents. You're going to basically build a team. You got to support that team in one way or another. Cool thing about eXp is you can build a team, and the company supports them. What we're doing at Smart Agent Life is adding another layer of support and value to the agents that join our company. So, I'm a digital marketing nerd. I've got just all sorts of tools, specifically as they relate to real estate. And we're just going to have a ton of mentorship and value. Our goal is to create a tribe of, a family basically of awesome people who want to go out and have fun and do so with like-minded folks within eXp. And that's where, you can start leveraging other agents by adding them to your team. And we'll talk about how that can benefit you financially. It also makes you feel good because you start seeing what it means to their lives. A lot of agents, they'll fire their broker and go open their own brokerage. They might buy a franchise. They may, build agents within, their own business. They, typically are limited to like a geographical area. If you're an independent, you got to go acquire all this technology yourself. It can be, there's pros and cons for sure, right? I mean, there's pros and cons to eXp. eXp is not for everybody. As a matter of fact, I think that it's really for those forward-thinking agents who are not content with just the status quo. And if you're cool with the status quo, then don't make a change, right? When it comes to like franchises, I love franchises. It's a replicable system that others can stamp out and fly the flag, right? And the hard work's done by the franchise builder, but they cost money. And there's brick and mortar associated with it, overhead. So there's pros and cons to everything. But this, is one common way that a lot of folks will go is they'll say, hey, I'm going to go open my own brokerage. And I think that's super cool because that means they're an entrepreneur and they've got a system working for them. Scalability and expansion. So, most brokerages aren't making a ton of money. Typically that broker is still selling real estate, the owner. I know a lot of them here in Kansas City, and they're probably the top producer in their offices. Um, you know, a lot of times your impact can only be your geographic area. In some cases, your territory, right? Do have the ability to go out and open more offices if you've built your own brand. I mean, there's all sorts of plays associated with it. That's obviously something that when we look at expansion as it relates to eXp, trying to fill in all the dots on the map from a agent perspective. But this is a cool model because our additional cost to flip on, New Hampshire, for example, right? It doesn't cost a lot of money. We don't have to go build a brick and mortar. We do not have to do a lot of the things that a traditional office does. We just have to get a state broker who's, acting as our advisor and leader and growth experts in the area. They obviously are fostering our team culture, and which is, collaborative, and find the right folks to head up those areas, and then we can expand. So, by the way, if you know great people in those areas, we would love to visit with them. So here's what's going on with eXp, and this is outdated a little bit because they just dropped the Q3 numbers. So the company is adding about 100 agents a week, which is exponential growth. It is, as it relates to, I talked about the hockey stick moment. This is really where the business is starting to grow, and think back to like Amazon and Uber and Airbnb and Netflix. And think about if you had the opportunity to be one of the early employees and those companies. I mean, I've worked for a .com. I know what it's like. When they're young, they're not necessarily flush with cash, right? So what do? They give stock awards to the early employees to augment what they cannot pay them in cash. And as I look at eXp, I'm not going to make any forward-thinking or forward-looking statements, right? But for me, as an individual, somebody who is an agent with this company, for me, it was worth it to take a shot because, whatever happens to the company stock is going to happen, right? But for me to be able to go out and earn stock in this company and have it put aside and still go out and make a great living, and think about, hey, what if this does turn into one of those juggernauts that we saw earlier, and being like, I think it was agent number like 3,500 or something. That would be a pretty cool little ride to be on. And that's a lot of why I think that being in a company at its relatively early stages is exciting, frankly. It's a really cool time to, if you're thinking about making a change, to at least take a closer look at the model. So phase 5, exponential earner. This is how we all want to, enjoy our golden years, right? It's like having some sort of an exit strategy with income that's coming in after you're done working, right? Cool thing about this company is it's all around collaboration. When I walk you through what the agent attraction model looks like, which is how one of the largest franchises in the United States has grown, by the way, then it's all going to make sense. You're going to say, wow, my deal flow, the unit economics are great. I'm going to cap out at a certain point. I potentially have a chance to earn 100+% commission. And that is unheard of. And it's not only very attainable, but it's very probable if you just go out and you do good business, other agents are going to ask you about this company, particularly if it's new in your area. It's happening to me already. I'm here in Kansas City, and I'm just sharing the story with folks, right? And there was like, tell me more. So it's one of these opportunities where, you can make a great living, right? As great as you're going to put into it. Real estate's predicated on how hard do you want to work. So it's a great living if you decide to go out and work with buyers and sellers. And then there's the other income streams, your stock, the equity in the company, as well as the ability to go out and attract agents and have revenue share coming from those agents. So before we get into some of those economics, let's look at the agent-centric philosophy. It's all about building your brand. We are in the relationship business. And frankly, buyers and sellers don't care what company you're with. They care about you. Are you a good person? You professional? You treat them right? They're going to recommend you to their family or friends. They don't know if you're with a company with a balloon or a dog or whatever. This is a relationship business. I've seen it happen time and time again. I've seen top producers move from, a Berkshire Hathaway company to a national franchise. And guess what? Their business, there's no dip. It just goes up. They got something new about them. That's it. So we've got a couple different divisions. If you're in the luxury game, I love this luxury logo, by the way. I'm kind of a graphics nerd and computer nerd. REO, so if you're playing in the bank-owned space, we've got that available, as well as commercial. If you're working in the commercial space, we've got something available for you as well. So really, anything that you're selling, we've got one of the brands, various iterations of the brand that you can fly that will align with your business. Here's your basic website template. We'll power through some of this pretty quickly. Everybody wants to know, hey, how do I make money, right? So personalized websites, good stuff based on WordPress. Whoops, go back. WordPress, I love. My digital marketing company, we've built probably 500 websites. In my career on WordPress, it's a great platform because you can blog, you can put the personalization on it. It's a great platform, open source. I'm just a huge WordPress fan, so I was excited to see when I was sniffing out the company that is technology that they have not only used but embraced. Here's what your conversion IDX website looks like. All your listings, MLS, plug it into your MLS, populate here. And it is included with your monthly tech fee. So you don't have to pay the setup and all the monthly charges. It's included. Listing syndication. There's people who are split on it. I'm a big fan of listing syndication as long as there's portals to push them to. If there's portals and people are going there, you never know where they're going to go. So why not be there until the portals are gone? Push it out. That's my philosophy. But a lot of people have different philosophies, and you get to choose how you want things to be pushed out. So economics, $99 to start up. And when you do that, you get cards and folders, and that's like $86 through the store. You get them for free. So basically your startup fee is free, or like $14. Annual cost, you pay, I think it's actually $450, not $420. So I believe this is a typo, which is university tuition. And then $50 a month. That's takes care of your fees. That's it. There's no desk fee, franchise fee, royalties, blah, blah, blah. It's just here's your fees. Pretty cool fee schedule, right? When it comes to your commissions, let's talk about where they go. So you're going to cap out at $16K. When you pay in $16K to the company, you're done. So that basically means you've made $80,000 in gross commission income. Then you're going to be 100% for the balance of the year. Your per transaction fee while you're under the cap, $25 for a broker review, $30 for E&O, and you're going to cap out at $500 over the year. And when you're a capper and you've hit that $16K point, you're going to pay a $250 transaction fee. Okay. Still the 25 broker review, $30 for E&O, pretty simple stuff. But let's talk about how you can earn 100K or 100% plus. I almost didn't show this to you because it's confusing, but this is how the math works. This is what the revenue share program looks like. So it's not based on profitability of a franchise office that has low margins. This is based on production of agents that you attract to the model. Production of agents that you attract to the model. That 20% that they're paying in their commission up to 16K, part of that is going to go to you. And in the very last slide, I'm going to show you some actual scenarios, like what one agent is worth. I can tell you right now, a level 1 agent is worth $2,800 to you over the course of a year. Okay? So if you had, you recruited one agent, you're only going to make $2,800. You recruit 10, you're going to make $28,000. But then it's the exponential effect when those agents attract other agents to the model. And here at Smart Agent Life, We're doing a bunch of A/B testing on agent attraction ads. We are investing quite a bit of money in figuring out the right messaging as they align to specific brokerages and pain points. And then we're going to share those with you. And you're going to be able to go out and deploy those. We're doing all the investment and figuring out what messages work and what doesn't, the conversion rates, and then we're just going to give you the recipe, and you're going to be able to deploy it if you want to, and attract more agents. So there you go. We have a revenue share calculator on our website, so it's smartagentlife.com. You can go in there, you can play with some numbers. You can see here if you attracted 5 agents in level 1, and those agents attracted another 5 agents, right? So if you had 12 properties sold, it's 1 per month for each agent, and the production level was $250,000 average sales price, you can make a $94K. This is just a hypothetical scenario. The numbers can get pretty crazy as you start playing with them. I always tell people, just be conservative. I mean, kind of depends on your DNA. Are you a sharing person or not? How visible are you in your community? How much do you want to pursue attracting agents? And we're going to give you the tools to go out and do it. We're doing it right now nationally, and you're just going to get that creative, that artwork, the very wording for your Facebook ads, email copy that resonates best, and we're just going to give you the tools, and you can go out and deploy that model in your local market if you so desire. So have fun with the revenue calculator. It's fun to play with it. Last thing I wanted to share with you before we go into a summary is basically the fact that the company is publicly traded. So you can check out the ticker symbol EXPI. You get shares for your first closing. You get it when you hit that 16K cap. You get them when you recruit agents. There's a stock compensation program, and then an icon agent program, which we'll talk about here. So this is the last thing I want to share with you. And we're going to spend quite a bit of time on this slide. We saw this at the beginning, but we're going to just, if you haven't listened to anything, this is the one to dial into. So tech, you've got your virtual cloud office. Make your avatar, go in, get the business you done need, collaborate with other agents. Conversion, okay, that's going to be your IDX and your CRM. You got Commission Inc. You got SkySlope, that's your transaction management. All of those are free, or included in your $50 a month. Making It Rain, cool platform. So if you go to our website, you hit leads, you're going to learn about that. You can have basically done for you lead generation, and it's going to cost you money, but it's economical, right? And so if you have a team and you need to get more buyers in, this is a great way to do that. Let's talk about the economics as it relates to financial brokerage. So 80-20 split. We talked about capping out at 16K. No royalties, no franchise fees, no desk fees. You saw that we have just a $50 a month brokerage fee. You've got an E&O transaction, and either $420 or $450 a year when it comes to tech. Equity in stock. So the Icon Agent program, which I wanted to share with you. This is when you cap and when you have 20 sales, then cap plus 20 sales, you get 16K stock award. And then there's the 5% buyback or stock acquisition program. So you can buy stock with 5% of every deal. So when you sign your independent contractor agreement, if you want to save for the future or you want to invest in the company, you have the option to opt in or opt out of that. I opted into that. And then you get it at a 20% discount. Rev share. This is where the numbers get pretty cool. This is where if you start attracting agents, and you can see the exponential effect as the various levels start filling out. When you go out and you share this model with other agents, they are going to be interested. It is innovative. It is different. It is something that is a conversation point. And you really don't have to do any sharing or selling. I mean, it's just going to be, hey, here's what I'm doing. Here's what I'm up to, right? And if it's cool, if it's something you want to get involved with, awesome. If not, cool. Let's co-op together. So that's it. Thank you again for joining us. We've got a bunch of resources on smartagentlife.com. I've referenced it a couple different times, but the information about the lead program, the rev share calculator, all of those things. If any of this resonated with you, one component of it, do me a favor. Go to our website, hit any of the multiple boxes on there to book a consult. It's completely confidential, but me and Ted would love to talk to you and just see if it makes sense for you. we look at it through a different lens. We've shared a lot of information with you today, and we know that in some cases it may be overwhelming. And so don't be shy. Please reach out and we'll get you the information that you need. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, and have a wonderful day.